Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
How would you like to have this problem in your neighborhood? We're talking to parents and also the city working to get this fixed. Help Me Hank coming to the rescue tonight.
A police chase in Warren ends with an officer injured, requiring 9 staples in his head. We'll tell you what the suspect told a judge today.
All right, but we're going to begin at 5 with 4 Live radar and rain coming down right in the middle of the afternoon rush. Looks like we're going to wrap up April in April-ish fashion. Plenty of rain.
Yeah, let's get over to Ben right now, who he's got his eyes on the radar. Hi, Ben.
Yeah, Kim and Devin, this is just a taste of what we got this week. And even as we transition to May, it looks like those April showers are coming with us. Here's 4 Live radar, which is mainly just light to moderate rain out there. That is the back edge of the widespread stuff, which is going to be out of here within the next hour or two. But there's plenty more this week where that came from. In fact, parts of the state of Michigan will be receiving anywhere between 2 and 3 inches of rain. That's that purple stripe there. That's going to be just on our west and north zone. Most of us are going to be in that 1 to 2 inch range. And again, that's through Friday. So we've got multiple chances going forward. There will be breaks in between, so flooding's probably not going to be a concern, but we're going to get plenty of water and plenty of cool temperatures tonight. Consistently cool, shower around in spots, but we've got much better chances to look at in the 7-day forecast ahead. Guys?
All right, Ben. Now to breaking news. Just in, director John Singleton has died. Singleton had been hospitalized in Los Angeles for nearly 2 weeks and suffering a massive stroke. He was the force behind Boys in the Hood, which earned him an Oscar nomination. John Singleton was just 51 years old. Reaction soon to come.
Yeah. Our other top story tonight, brand new information into this chase in Warren that ended with an officer injured.
The man who prosecutors say was behind the wheel and then struggled with the officer made his first appearance in court this afternoon. And Priya Mann's following that for us from Warren. The charges he's facing here now, but also a closer look at that video, Priya.
Yeah, Devin, Kimberly, Charles Gordon should have never been on the road in the first place. His license has been suspended more than a dozen times. He had multiple warrants out for his arrest, and he was wanted by police, and he was on probation as well. And today, he pleaded for help.
I was living a bad way for a long time. I was on drugs for a long time.
Covered with cuts and dried blood, Charles Gordon blamed a drug addiction for his most recent arrest.
I was taking care of my grandmother. Then then grandma died at home with me, and that just sent me into a spiral, Judge.
Okay. The 27-year-old Centerline man is accused of stealing a van and then leading Warren police on a slow-speed chase Sunday.
This is the stolen car over here.
Dashcam video recorded the suspect driving on sidewalks through residential areas and blowing past stop signs and red lights.
These are the type of situations that, we prayed that no one's seriously injured or killed.
The chase started at 9 Mile and Van Dyke and ended at 12 Mile and Shaner when Gordon allegedly rear-ended a Jeep Wrangler. As cops closed in, police say he refused to get out, holding onto the steering wheel.
At the scene of the crash, and gave the driver, an occupant later identified as Charles Edward Gordon, several verbal commands. However, Gordon refused to unlock or open the driver's door.
A police officer was injured while smashing a window to get inside.
Once Gordon was secured, Officer Rexford discovered that he had received a laceration on his head from broken glass. During the struggle with Gordon, as he placed him under arrest. As a result, Officer Rexford required 9 staples to close the laceration on his head.
He's facing some heavy charges. If he would have pulled over, he would have been facing 1 charge. It's not worth it.
And if he had just pulled over, he would have been charged with stealing that van. But now he's facing multiple charges, including resisting arrest, assaulting an officer, driving on a suspended license, and being in possession of cocaine. The judge set his bond at $250,000 cash surety. Reporting live from Warren, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Yeah, and Priya, what are we hearing about that driver who was rear-ended?
Yeah, that woman was okay. She was not significantly injured, refused medical treatment. She was able to drive her car, but that officer, well, he's at home recovering with 9 staples in his head while he was trying to smash open that window to get Gordon out of the van. Send it back to you.
Okay, Priya.
The Detroit man accused of killing 2 people at a senior housing complex last year is going to trial. James Fleming faces 14 charges, including 2 charges of first-degree murder. Prosecutors say Fleming killed the building's security guard, Kenneth Hall, and resident Bernice Clark before leading police on a manhunt. He was later caught in Virginia. This officer responded to the scene and recalls finding Kenneth Hall.
Now, did you ever attempt to give Mr. Hall any treatment or to check on him? What did you do?
Yes, I checked to see if he had a pulse.
Okay, and did he at the time?
No.
And did he appear to have any trauma to the exterior of his body when you observed him?
Yes.
And again, James Fleming will be heading to trial.
Tonight, we're getting an inside look at the staffing problems at the Washtenaw County Jail. Last week, we reported the staffing levels of correctional officers is at critical lows, prompting the sheriff to declare a state of emergency. Nick Monticelli takes us inside the county jail to see those problems firsthand.
Good evening. So this is one of the housing areas for the females here in the Washtenaw County Jail, and honestly, it's like amazing here. You would get lost incredibly easily, but that's not the story. The jail isn't the story. It's who works inside of the jail. And the sheriff, the commanders, they all say right now they are at critical levels. They have solutions, but they can't sustain it.
People are tired. It's hard to work a double shift, so some staff are tired.
Commander Eric Kunath is the man in charge of the day-to-day operations at the Washtenaw County Jail, which means this staffing problem is his problem. Right now, the vacancy level for correctional officers is 23%. The acceptable level is just 8 to 10%. So forced overtime is in effect. Vacations could be denied, and they're borrowing resources from the courts.
This is about not burning out our staff. We can still run the jail 24/7, 365. Even if we didn't make the adjustments, we could still run the jail. But at some point, you reach a point of diminishing returns.
You'll notice the Washtenaw County Jail, though, isn't like the movies. Non-violent inmates live in open areas and aren't locked down for hours on end. But because of staffing levels, lockdowns have been implemented.
We be locked down like majority of the day till like 3 o'clock because really there ain't no staff in here, no watching, so they'll lock us down.
People are less angry. Now everybody's like a little ornery on edge. So a lot more arguments.
I think that we are trying to do our best to create solutions for this problem, but it is, when people are getting forced 2 and 3 days in a row, it does become a problem for sure.
So why aren't more corrections officers applying? Many think it's the misconception that officers just watch inmates and break up fights. The commander says it's the opposite.
We're not the traditional lock you up and check on people and hand out toilet paper. That's not what this is. We are impacting people's lives and making changes.
In Washtenaw County, Nick Monticelli, Local 4.
All right, Nick, the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Office is going to have a hiring expo for those interested in becoming corrections officers. It's on May 18th. It'll be from 11 to 3 at the Sheriff's Office, and that's at 2201 Hogback Road in Ann Arbor.
In good health tonight, the number of measles cases in Michigan stands at 43.
Now, the state lab tested several samples today. Thankfully, all came back negative. That is not the situation nationwide, where the outbreak continues to grow.
Today, the CDC spoke out saying diseases such as the measles belong in the history books, not the emergency room.
The number of measles cases nationwide is the highest it's been in 25 years, with 704 cases reported in 2019, according to the CDC. Doctors are urging vaccination, especially for people traveling outside the U.S. and those in the outbreak areas.
The reason there's only 700 cases as opposed to 70,000 or 700,000 cases is because of the vaccines that we have.
Most of the current cases are in pockets of unvaccinated people, like in New York State, which has reported 474 cases so far this year. Proposed legislation would end all non-medical vaccine exemptions in that state.
You have a First Amendment right to practice your own religion, but you do not have the right to endanger your children or, worse, other people's children.
That's the message from a mother in England, a country experiencing similar measles outbreaks. Jilly Moss posted these photos of her baby daughter, Alba, who was too young to be vaccinated but caught the measles and had to be hospitalized. Moss writes, quote, "It has been absolutely horrific watching our daughter fight this. The truth is, this all could have been prevented if the protection layer of older kids above Alba had been vaccinated," end quote. Measles can cause a high fever, rash, pneumonia, brain inflammation, and death.
CDC experts said many of these outbreaks were triggered by Americans being exposed during foreign travel or by visitors coming from overseas. The top countries where imported cases of measles are coming from are Ukraine, Israel, and the Philippines.
In a statement today, Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy said, and I'm quoting here, "Judge Damon Keith was simply one of the greatest jurists of the 20th and 21st centuries," end of quote.
As you know, Keith passed away Sunday, surrounded by family. He was 96. Our Paula Tutman spoke to his eldest daughter late this afternoon as she copes with the loss of her beloved father.
So just walking through the doors of the offices of Judge Damon J. Keith is like walking through a timeline in history just by looking at the pictures on the wall. When you are a member of the public, you see history as you look around the chambers of Judge Damon J. Keith.
Right here with Kennedy, you know, Martin Luther King.
When you are a daughter, you see something else entirely.
Dad was doing the first selfies before, you know, little iPhones were around.
Cecile Keith Brown is the eldest daughter of Judge Keith. She grew up with his accomplishments and for many years saw firsthand the intricate threading he did to sew the fibers of democracy into this great nation. Today, while she is indeed in grief, she is also grateful.
You know, there aren't many people who get to have their dad live to be 96. So we appreciate that.
To have a father who was vigorous, vibrant, and healthy to the end.
He was still talking about cases, you know, in his last few hours. Yes, it's a loss, but it's a sense of gratitude. He was able to inspire so many. He hired more women. He hired different people of different ethnicities. There's a lot to be proud of him, to know that it was a life well lived.
Who knew what his date of departure was? Perhaps he had an inkling, perhaps a wanting to rejoin his wife and meet his maker. But his last words as he left his staff on Thursday, "See you on Monday." Paula Tutman, Local 4.
The photo album alone tells you the extraordinary life that you live.
Quite a scrapbook.
Quite a scrapbook it is.
My
All right,
goodness.
Paula. We're off and running here on a Monday. Here's Defender Kevin Dietz.
Did the Pontiac School District fail to report serious allegations of inappropriate relationships between teachers and students? A criminal investigation is underway. The defenders are coming up.
And can he keep the streak alive? Ahead here at 5, what Jeopardy champion James Holzhauer says show producers will no longer allow him to do in Final Jeopardy. Hank.
Take a look at this massive sinkhole. Unfortunately, it's not the only one in this neighborhood. Parents are concerned for their children's safety, and we're working with the city to make sure it's fixed. New tonight.